Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, backwards from boxing. Now, man, after the, just dominating win, the high IQ displayed on Deryanchenko by JERMALL CHARLO this past weekend, a lot of people are talking about how elite JERMALL CHARLO is in that Deryanchenko win. But some people think that, you know what? I don't know, man. I seen a lot of things that were suspect in the fight with JERMALL CHARLO and Deryanchenko. And Shawn Porter weighs in, man, and he thinks that boxers will give JERMALL CHARLO some problems. Now I'm against some quotes for you guys, man. This is a quote from my boy Showtime Shawn Porter, and he says he's probably the most rangy guy in boxing. He's a southpaw, so there would be a lot for Charlo at 160 to prepare for and to get in ring with Boo Boo Andrade. Right? And he says another quote. I said that's probably why JERMALL doesn't mention his name, because he knows it's a tough fight for him and a tough fight to get prepared for. It's definitely the business side, said Porter. JERMALL CHARLO, Andrade haven't fought. So basically, man, Shawn Porter goes into how elite Andrade is, but the business side, Andrade right now at this point in his career, he's not business friendly because he hasn't really fought any big names at 160 yet. As far as getting his name out there and fighting the fights that people want to see to consider him legitimate. Pitting him in fights that people really think it's 50-50. Now, I think Demetrius Andrade is a phenomenal fighter, man. Every time I see him in the ring, he's mostly dominating his opponents. I've seen him struggle one time at the 154 division off a lung layoff. But at 160, man, he's been completely dominating these fighters. That being said, man, Demetrius Andrade, me personally, I think some fights that would get him some recognition is maybe like a David Lemieux. I think that fight would be a really good fight for him at 160. And yeah, man, I think that'd be because I think that David Lemieux, he's a hard hitter, and I actually think I think he is the hardest puncher at 160. I just think he doesn't have all the talent to become champion. But I do think he hits the hardest. Sometimes people gotta realize that you can have certain attributes that make you an elite level fighter, but you can not have everything to make you the full complete package, right? Let's give another example, like Andy Ruiz, right? A fast fighter, but everything all together, he couldn't maintain the championship because at the end of the day, he was too slow-footed to catch up to Anthony Joshua. Or Amir Khan, one of the fastest fighter at welterweight, bar none. Everyone knows he's the fastest fighter, right? But he, as of late, chances of him being champion are slim to none. Same thing with David Lemieux. I do think he's the hardest puncher at middleweight, just based off the many knockouts he has. But one that's really devastating was the Curtis Stevens fight. I still remember David Lemieux versus Curtis Stevens, man, and how David Lemieux just laid him out. If you stand in front of David Lemieux and you actually bang with him, that's a grave mistake, man. That's a grave mistake. Now, can David Lemieux make 160, man? God knows. The guy's a big dude, and we gotta see about that. But I am high on David Lemieux, man. I still think he still got it. What they say in boxing, man. Power is the last to go. And yeah, man. So I think Demetrius Andrade needs to fight some couple cup fighters, or even bring up a tough 154 fighter up and fight one of them. Because Demetrius Andrade's small, he can still fight, bring up guys from 154 and probably fight like a catchweight. I wouldn't see why he couldn't do that. A lot of these fighters, they fight in between weight classes. That's just a thing in boxing now. Everyone's doing it, right? Most of these fighters are not only multi-division world champions, but sometimes they fight in between weight classes. So yeah, man. I do think that I don't know what Shawn Porter watched that this last Saturday, because Deryanchenko, while he was doing good in the fight, it was mostly when he went inside that he had problems, right? JERMALL CHARLO had problems where Deryanchenko came in the inside and fought him. But on the outside, JERMALL CHARLO was controlling him completely with a jab. There was no real punches that JERMALL CHARLO got hit with at all with Deryanchenko. Deryanchenko's too small. He didn't leap in with any left hooks. He didn't leap in with any straight rights. From the outside, he was very timid. He didn't do much because he's too short. And JERMALL basically controlled the range with his jab. That being said, man, We're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. But I do think Andrade needs some kind of win to give him legitimacy at the 160 division. As far as we all know, he's a champion, but just to give him some buzz, he needs to fight not just a tough opponent who's undefeated, but an opponent that the public's familiar with, right? I think David Lemieux would be that guy. If you guys got any other people who you guys like to throw in the middleweight discussion, let me know. But I think that'd be a good fight for Demetrius Andrade, maybe even Daniel Jacobs. I think that possibly could be a great fight for him as well. That'd be a really tough fight for him. I think that would be, he needs to be in a 50-50 fight, man. You can't pit Jermall Charlo with Daniel Janko. That was a really tough fight, and the odds are really close for that fight. And then have someone like Demetrius Andrade fight, a guy he's supposed to win. I think Daniel Jacobs would be such a tough fight for him. That'd definitely be a 50-50 fight. But Andrade, if he's good as they say he is, he should be able to get through someone like a Daniel Jacobs. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about Shawn Porter and his breakdown. I think that an inside fighter is actually more dangerous for Jermall Charlo than an outside fighter as far as his last performance goes, because he completely controlled the outside game in this fight. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is The Empire. Geobasket Empire. Peace. All right.